Yeah. All right, I think we're rolling now. But yeah, this will be our session tonight. We're gonna go over Bollinger Bands and get a little bit more in detail on a strategy that we can apply with the Bollinger Bands. Now, with Bollinger Bands, we have our actual bands here. We're gonna have this line in the middle is gonna be our actual moving average, just a simple moving average. The standard is gonna be set at 20. You guys can fine tweak this as you get a little bit more experience, and you can kind of set it to to cooperate. Excuse me, getting the tongue on words, but actually set it for different time frames and adjust this to kind of move uh, with the average that you guys are looking for. So currently it is on a 20 moving day average. Then you're going to have your deviations here. Now, to kind of explain what the deviations are, is they're going to be a deviation of the moving average, or it's typically times 2 of the actual moving average of the price. So the moving average is calculating an average of price for the previous or for the previous 20 days, and then the deviation is going to be 2 times of the moving average, which is going to give you guys this outer band. Now, when price does come out to the average to the deviation, it typically likes to retrace or bounce off of these deviations. At that point, it's going to signal that price may be overbought or oversold. So it's a great indication for you guys to kind of catch some different moves. So I'm gonna go a little bit more detail on the strategy we can use for that. Now, when we do see that the Bollinger Band, like you see here, we just recently had a squeeze here. What this squeeze on a Bollinger Band is typically, let me go to a higher time frame. Bear with me because I'm actually in some trades now. But so with the Bollinger Band, it's typically open as you see here, and what we're looking for is we're playing the Bollinger Band once it usually moves around the moving average. When it gets overextended, it comes to these outer bands, and we typically we have a better probability of catching a bounce. So we're playing the bounces on each of these Bollinger Bands. Now, I was going into about the squeezes. When it actually squeezes, it's going to be a sign that there's no volatility in the market, or it's kind of consolidating. As we can see here on a 15-minute time frame, just a while ago, price kind of just stuck in one area, started consolidating. We got a squeeze, and then that's when we get a big signals for a break. So, two different things you guys can look for when trading the Bollinger Band, or the way this strategy works, is first we'll go, so here we'll go over the squeeze. We see the price starting to kind of consolidate. You'll notice that your Bollinger Bands will squeeze tighter together. It's going to signal that you guys are going to get a break. Typically, the break, depending on your area, you do need to look at your higher time frames for your trend. You locate which direction the market is kind of going in. So we noticed that we had a big move down. So we're starting to get a downtrend on this particular pair. And when we move into the actual 15-minute, where we're seeing the square, the squeeze. I don't know where I got square from. When we're seeing the squeeze, it actually typically, or they gave us an impulse move, or we got a move to the downside. Now, we did have news today, some Audi news, so this helped propel, the JPY pairs caught some strength. Investors moved over from more of a risk on to a risk off type of atmosphere or vibe in the market, and we got a good move. But the Bollinger Band did signal that previous. So let me pull up. I'm gonna pull up another pair so I can kind of give us a better perspective of Bollinger Bands, or it actually moving in the band. Let's see here. Guys, pardon me 1 second. Apologies, I had to drink water, but we noticed here that we had a downtrend on US CAD for a long while, actually a few weeks, maybe about a month. And from there, we got the bounce, or I hit the lower Bollinger Band. We came back up to the top. We got a bounce down. Now, typically what happens is we're looking for to, with this strategy, we're going to be looking for to take advantage of the outer bands. As price gets to the outer bands, you notice that typically it wants to come back down to the moving average. It wants to get back into equilibrium. So we'll take the sell and ride it on down. Now, a more of a conservative play would to be to ride the momentum back to the moving average. A more aggressive play would be to go ahead and try to ride this thing all the way back down to the other band. So I mean, it is a powerful strategy with Bollinger Bands. What we do is ride them from band to band, or we catch the moves from band to band. If you're more of an aggressive trader, more of a conservative trader, you can once the band hits the outside of the band or the hits the edge of the band, you can ride it back down to the moving average, and it typically does that. If you see here, it got to the outer band, came back up to the moving average, went back down to the outer band. Now, to kind of keep you guys from getting false signals, once again, you do want to pay attention to the actual trend of the market. When we have the prices kind of, we call this the running the bands, is when it's actually just kind of moving on to the side of the bands, it's staying real close to the edge. So do take into account the actual trend in the market. So with it, like, give you guys an example of US CAD here recently, it's in the uptrend. If we go to the 4-hour time frame, it kind of just rolled the actual band. So when you're in the uptrend, you start on the higher time frames to determine your trend. When you're uptrend, you're only looking for buys. I wouldn't fight the trend and try to sell this when we know that it's in an actual uptrend. So as we zoom in and we go to smaller time frames, you notice it just kind of went up. There was no need to. I mean, you could have caught some sales here, but it's safer. A more safer play would be to just look for buys. So once it comes down to the actual band or the moving average, look for a buy. Look for a buy. As long as the market from your higher time frames is going in a bullish direction or in a bearish trend. Now, what I like to add is for confluence when I'm using this Bollinger Band strategy is going to be the oscillator, the stochastics. Now, it does help confirm the end of the overbought signals and also the end of the momentum. So when we get up here to the top, you guys notice that once we hit this band up here, if we come down and look at the oscillator, we'll see that it actually crossed. It started making this move to the downside as well. This was kind of a fake out, but you guys could have just rode this though. You had a good position. Stops would have been, depending on your risk reward or the way you're placing your stop, you would have had a stop above this, even this little pullback here. And it came down and it dropped for a nice. It's about a 40 pip move there you would have caught. And the stochastics, once again, it did signal when it was going to drop. So if you waited here, it was kind of in the outer band, pretty extended. And we got a signal from the actual oscillator to sell it. Came back down and it rolled down the band for a little bit, and we got kind of overextended. Price sometimes will go, depending on the momentum, go out of the bands. I like waiting for the price personally to come out of the bands and then take the opposite, the counter trend trade. Same thing here. We had price kind of shoot up really rapidly. It came up out of the bands, and then we had a signal with our stochastics. The stochastics, the signal line, and I forget the name of the other line, but they crossed. So when you see those cross, you see the peaks there. Same thing with there. There's going to be a good signal, good signal to go ahead and ride it down. Comes down to the Bollinger Band, it kind of stalls here. Now, once you notice a little extra nugget here is if price goes below the 60 line, it typically has a tendency to continue down until we get down here to these lower levels, like the 20 and the 30 level of the oscillator. So, if I see that price is breaking this 60 here, and I'm catching a downtrend, I notice price is below that, I'm gonna go ahead and ride that sell. So you could have rolled that all the way down until you started getting a curvature of the oscillator, or it started back pointing back up. So that's that in a nutshell. Is a quick, simple strategy. So we'll start there today. I just wanted to kind of go over the strategies. You guys have any questions on the Bollinger Band, the settings, the stochastics oscillator? Oh, I didn't give you guys those settings. Let me pull that up quick. I want to say this is a standard deviation as well. This is going to be, let's see here, parameters. Okay, yes, I apologize. I do have the standard deviations, which is going to be the K period for 5, 3, and 3 for the slowing. You guys, pardon me. I'm trying to keep the household structured as well, dealing with some kiddos right now. But those are the settings there. Everything, it is still a simple moving average. And that's the other line. That was a moving average. And then for our indicators, for our Bollinger Bands, it's going to be a standard setting as well. The period will be 20 for the moving average, and the deviation is going to be 2. So with Bollinger Bands, before we move on, if you guys have any questions concerning the Bollinger Bands or this actual strategy, feel free to unmute, or you drop something in the chat. I don't see anything so far, so I assume that we do have that understanding. So we'll jump into something a little deeper here. It's pretty straightforward. See, we have a couple of more participants. Neville, good evening. Miss Alicia Garcia, good evening. How are you? How are you guys? Damon, how's it going? Vera, pronounced that right. You guys just tuning in, we went over a Bollinger Band strategy. Pulls out some good pips, some pretty decent movement. Typically, I see around a 40 pip, 50 pip move, all the way up. Sky's the kind of limit with that, depending on the higher time frames that you guys are using. So we'll jump into the charts. We'll look at some of my markups. GA's been kind of acting funny with me. GN. I'm currently trading GN right now. I was looking for a pullback, but it's kind of going up right now. So I'm gonna hold it. I'm waiting. I don't think it's gonna break these levels up here. Let me give you guys a higher time frame view of it. So price just kind of been dancing around here. Got a decent little drop now. We're kind of retracing that drop. Have some levels here. So I'm looking at levels of interest, and that's particularly what we want to do in the market, is we want to find levels of interest where institutions and banks are going to be placing their orders, and we're trying to ride their trend or their wave. Uh, None of us, even if we all put our money together, good evening, or good evening, Neville. But even if we all put our money together in a pot, we wouldn't have enough money to move this market at all. So the market is moved by, institution, banks, and big players. So we're trying to put ourselves in the mind frame of these bank traders and institutions. Uh, one one thing about the market is that I like to say, I said this before, the market is breathing. It does have a pulse, because we're actually looking at psychology here, or actual. It's a human being that's pressing these buttons to make this market move. So what we want to do is put ourselves in their mindset. Um, you see a big run here. A lot of people do. I mean, it's always a good thing to follow the trend, but you also have to think about value, the value of the actual um, currency you're trading. I mean, after a while, you start to notice these wicks. It's a sign that price is exhausting, or this is a high price. It's kind of overpriced for buyers. So there's not really any interest up here. You notice it starts to wick out. So the charts are talking to us, the candlesticks speak to us, and it kind of give us a mind frame so we can determine the direction of the market. So that's just a little tad bit I'll throw in there for you guys. Is always remember that this is not just random. Price isn't random. It's based off of human psychology, and the participants in the market is what's controlling the direction of the market. So we want to kind of think, what I want to spend so many millions at this high of a level. I mean, price has been going up for a while now. Now, don't get it misconstrued. Price is going to go wherever price wants to go. We can't control that. We can just, set our trades. We can look for our patterns. We can set our different levels, and we actually participate in the market. And we don't try to guess what's going to happen. We don't try to um, do anything like that. We're just participating. So I mean, like these wicks, there's a saying, wicks don't lie. So when you see, long wicks like this, long tail wicks, it's a telltale sign that price is exhausting at these areas. So I mean, we could have caught a sale here. I mean, it gave us a big indicator that price didn't want to go higher here. You see the big wick. So you could have took a little while. I mean, the price did come up a little bit more, but this next day we could have caught a nice sale. And I mean, you even could have held it for a while, a few days, and that looks like that's about close to about 400 pips, about 400 pips, 430 pips they gave out before it retraced. And then it did give you guys a signal that it was going to retrace. It gave you a kind of like a doji candle here before it went back up. It still came back down. Now, I personally I do use indicators. A lot of people we get when we first start trading, I know I was one of those that I was looking for the perfect system. I was looking for the perfect indicator to tell me what to do. The sad thing, the unfortunate thing about that is that's not typically how the market works. What I use indicators for is going to be for confluence. So if I'm looking at a move, on a naked chart, and then I see that, I put on a Bollinger band and I see that, it's at the outer band, then it's going to give me an extra, check mark or extra confluence that price should go in the direction that I was looking. So I don't want you guys to get too caught up on trying to find the perfect strategy, the perfect indicator, because all indicators work. All strategies will work. They work for someone, or else they wouldn't, they wouldn't have been back tested, or they wouldn't have, made it out to the public. So a lot of times it's not the system, it's not the indicator, it's us. You have to follow strict rules. You have to follow strict management, or else the market or eat you alive. It'll chop you up. you'll get stuck in some odd moves. And I mean, for instance, I just jumped into play earlier with a GN. As long as I've been trading, I knew better. But being impatient, I jumped in the market. And I'm down a little bit on a trade that I'm on personally. Bright side is that I keep all my I kind of keep records of what I'm doing. So the pips, I had won a trade just a few minutes ago from GBP Audi off of some Audi news. So basically, this GN is a free trade. So I'm not hitting my account balance. That's the main thing we want to do is protect our capital. Anytime we want to try to protect our capital. But I just kind of want to go over a little bit of that, a little bit of structure, a little bit about Wix. Do you guys? I don't want to make sure that get you guys participated. You got anybody have any questions or anything so far?
Can you show the settings on those on both Bollinger Bands on the trading view?
Yes, sir. I think I do got a little different setup here. And I also have SARS on there. And this Bollinger Band, if you guys want to take advantage of that, it's going to be Bollinger Band Awesome. These are the settings for it. It's still the 20 length. There's a 2 deviation, but there's going to be a fast EMA that's added to that. And then there's a different kind of like length and fast length for some of the there's a couple of different EMAs attached to this one. And you can find this if you guys take advantage of TradingView. If you don't have TradingView, just go to tradingview.com. You can sign up for one. It's free. And then the indicator will be indicator's name. It's going to be Bollinger Band Awesome Alert by this guy, Just Uncle. And you select that one and add it on there. And that, like that Bollinger Band is a great strategy. It's pretty powerful. Actually, Bollinger Band has been around since the 1800s. They've been using these, so it's been tried and tested. It's a good method to kind of follow trend and get overbought and oversold areas. But just with that, like with the strategy we were just going over, could have got 271 pips on a 4-hour time frame off of GN. Looks like probably Friday or Thursday. When was that? November. Well, that was the 12th. No, that was a few days ago. So somewhere midweek. That was probably like a midweek reversal. But it also gives I think with this Bollinger Band, it does give you signals as well. If you see it, gives you like a sell signal, give us a buy signal. But it's pretty much the same thing. Once it gets up to the Bollinger Bands, you can sell it back down to the bottom. Came back up to the midline, which is more of a conservative trade. Could have took profit, rolled it back down. Came back up to the top. And I mean, that's just the way price moves. It moves in these waves. Oh, well, I should have caught that. Was a nice sell right there, though. I do also have a SARS indicator. We may go in detail later on another session about the SARS. I forget the name of the acronym, what it stands for. But what it is it gives you guys an indication of trend. Kind of the same thing as what the Bollinger Band is doing, but it's more of a direct indication of which way the market should go. And then when you get a flip, that kind of signals a reversal. And I just seen your question, Chino. As far as pairs, it all goes back to your risk appetite and how long you've been in the market. A good starter pair I would recommend is going to be Euro USD. You get some fluid moves with Euro USD. A lot of people sleep on it, but I personally like it because it moves solid. So I mean, you don't get as many whipsaws. It doesn't go all over the place. You can get some good solid runs. good 30, 40 pip moves throughout the day. So I would recommend to start with Euro USD. Learn how that kind of moves. Get familiar with Euro USD. Um, Another good one. I personally like Euro USD for London sessions or the overnights in New York. And then when it comes to Asian session, I like IDJPY. It's one of my favorite pairs. NZD JPY. It's a good solid pair. You get some pretty good movement before you get a reversal, and it doesn't whipsaw as much. Now, for my more advanced traders or people that's been in the market a little bit more, of course, you know, you got your British pound pairs. I like EJ as well, Euro JPY. It's a decent pair to trade. So, let's see if I got anything marked up, or we'll actually mark up a pair tonight. But let's do this, dude. Does anybody have a pair they want to mark up? They want to go over tonight? Anybody got a recommendation on a pair? Come on, y'all. Don't be shy. Be shy. Anybody got any pairs they like? Any pair they wanna trade? Oh, the beast. The beast. I like that, Chino. No fear, no fear. Now, just a warning. Like I say, they don't call GN the beast for no reason. I mean, this thing will move. What I'm seeing on GN though, we have two different things here. I have a pattern here already marked up. It's called okay, we'll look at GU as well real quick. But we have a pattern here that's marked up called a wolf wave. It's going to be similar to Elliott waves, and it's based off of like a 1, 2, 3, 4 or 1, 2, 3 or ABC type of structure. And it's signaling that we should get a pullback at least to the 197 area. We are at a strong area of resistance. This is be a key level of structure. The only thing though that we are still seeing is we are seeing a bullish. Let's see if I can draw it out here. Depending on your interpretation, we are having a bullish signal as well. So we have, you know, this impulse move, and then we have our flag here. Let's see if I can draw this out. Come down. All right. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it actually looks like a little flag, and that's typically a signal for a bullish sentiment. So if we do get a break here, I'm looking for a break and then possibly a retest. So if we get a break up here, we can see probably potentially a break and then a pullback to test these areas, and then we run off from there. We'll run off. So the way we would play this currently is we're just doing a lot of waiting right now. We don't want to rush price. We want to wait for price to give us some type of entry reason. I'm also me personally. I'm looking to short the GN based off of these levels have been holding true. We got one touch, two touch, and we're looking possibly for a third touch up here. So if we do get a third touch and a bounce, then I'm going to play it to the short side. If we do get a move above these wicks here, about the 233-ish level, 233, I would say 33-ish, then I'll start looking for longs. So I'm not trying to guess the market. I'm not trying to, I'm waiting for it to tell us what it's going to do. We are getting a nice bullish, kind of almost a hammer type of pattern, but I don't expect this to stay. I expect it to kind of go up for a little bit more and come down. We'll jump into a smaller time frame. I'm still not seeing any real entry reasons. We could have caught a little bullish move here off of this hammer counter and caught a little small move here. And I say small, but with GN, that's about 30 pips just off of structure, off a candlestick reading. Shameless plug. I'm gonna do a shameless plug. Candlestick Bible. Start doing, reading up on what your candlesticks mean. It'll help you decipher the market. We are starting to look like we're starting to get that pullback. And let me see my phone. I need to check my trades. Okay, yeah, I didn't get pulled out yet. So yeah, currently I'm in a short. I do have to add. I need to start bringing up our. Let me get a name of it. What is it called? It's for regulations that nothing that we go over is going to be financial advice. This is all for educational purposes. Now, spot forex does have a high risk, or it's a high risk instrument. When you're using leverage, so you are trading at your own risk, and there is the potential to lose some or all of your initial investment based on your decisions in the market. So I do have to put that out there, and I'm gonna have to start. I got a little flyer I need to start showing. You can find the Candlestick Bible in the DKS Facebook page. If you can't find it, let me know and I'll send you over a copy. And we'll check out GU real quick, and we'll probably end the session there. GU. I'll probably pull up GU and one more other pair. I'll probably pick a random pair. Let's see, let's scale out here. Oh, you guys seeing some of my sauce here, some of my secrets. I'm gonna erase all this. This was a projection I had of the direction of GU. We've been riding GU since October, and I caught this bull pushing up. This was during some of Brexit releases and things of that sort. So we got a nice move up. Now we're just kind of consolidating. Once again, it is, I would say, looks like a kind of like a flag printing here. But we do want to see the flag break. Personally, I'm looking for the same thing as GN. I'm looking for it to back off a little bit. Now, we do have to keep in mind that we do have some USD news. I do like to remind you guys to every day before you trade, pull up your economic calendar and just see what's in the horizon, so you know if you have any landmines or anything like that waiting on you. If you do see any news, if you're not familiar with trading during news, then just skip that pair. There's so many other pairs. There's 28 other pairs, 28 other major pairs that you can trade. So, if you see news on USD, then avoid some USD pairs for that day. But based on this, I'm seeing a level here. Let's see. We'll mark off this. All right, let me see. Let me erase this. Now I like to start off and just see where we're at in the market currently. So I'll mark off where we're currently at. Mark off where we were. So it's a good area there. We'll also kind of put an area here. What we want to do is find our most recent high, our most recent low, and some kind of other key areas of interest. You always start on a longer time frame and work your way down until you can actually execute the trade. Now, this is all structure-based trading. So sometimes I start on a daily. Typically, I start on a daily, but if I want to see where trend has actually been going, you can go even to a higher time frame like the weekly. When we go to the weekly, we notice there was a big down movement. Price has been bearish for a while. We're finally getting a retrace here. One thing we can do to kind of find us some levels is we can pull out our Fibonacci. We can see what point we're at in a retracement on a higher time frame. See if it gives us any information. So based on this, we're in between the 38.2 and the 50. Typically, the 50 is going to be an area where if it breaks the 50, it's going to be considered a reversal, and price should continue, more to the upside. We could get, move up here and reject down. So this is just giving us placement of where we're at in the market. Now we're going to jump back down. Let's see if there's anything else I can mark off. I am seeing a trend here. We can mark off our trend line. See where trends at. Kind of pushed out a trend right now. Let's do this. We can take wicks. Let's see what the wick gives us. That's all we kind of do is just play with our drawings a little bit. If it doesn't match up, we kind of move it around. See, I'm respecting that trend line. Go back up to a daily. We start on the right side. We look to the left. The left is going to tell us what possibly could happen to the right. And you notice how our levels are actual support and resistance zones. They're actually playing true. Back in the past as well. So there's going to be key levels of interest. Now we're getting closer. We're kind of scoping in. We're looking to see what price could do. Focus on here. Like that. We're still tracking down price, and we're getting closer to making a decision on entry, on which way we want to take the market. I'm starting to notice now, I'm looking at these wicks, starting to kind of get into the story of the market. I'm kind of seeing what market is trying to tell me. Notice we got up here and the price kind of shot down. We're getting up here, the price shoots down. We're getting up to the level of steady rejecting. There's more rejections to the upside. Now, this was a push down and then it pushed up. So price was trying to go down and for some reason it pushed up. To me, this is more indication of downside action. We'll jump down one more time frame to see if we get any patterns. We had an engulfing here. Wicks. Me personally, if I was playing GU, I'm looking for more downside. Look for more downside potential to a previous zone.
Also, Nick, if you don't mind me interjecting, I give you guys some a little bit of sweet sauce here, man. When the market is moving, like Nicholas saying, he's looking for something on the downside, which I've been tracking the GU here for just like GJ this morning. But if you look to the left on the higher time frame, and almost the exact same place that the market flagged on a higher time frame to the left, that is probably going to be the most likely hotspot for the flag on the reversal. So I don't know if that makes sense to everyone, but most likely the market will repattern itself in that aspect. So if you see to the left, if the market was in the upswing and it flagged, then once it starts to move down, you can pretty much look for a flag in that same spot just on the sale.
Some golden nuggets from the general himself. But yeah, we'll appreciate it. We just got finished up with went over a little bit of Bollinger Bands. Now we're just kind of looking at a few trades about to wrap up the session. Feel free though, Doug. Anything else you want to pass along?
Yeah. Also, too, guys. I don't know if y'all noticed, but every time Nicholas pulls up his chart, he's got volume on the bottom. Just really quick, but y'all can say something in the chat or whatever. How many of you guys trade based upon volumes? If you do, you can say me. You could put a 1. You could put a 3. Whatever. Just a little bit of acknowledgement here. Okay, Chino says he does. Awesome. So guys, let me tell you though, man. So volume, actually, you could get really technical when it comes to volume, and you can almost dictate how many people's in that trade, the money. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? There's a way to do that. I know Nicholas, he's probably set into some of the similar classes that I did to learn that, but guys, that tells you a lot. If you know how much money is in something, you can make a wise decision. Okay, so, but no, I mean, he has it, but yeah, we're gonna actually play with some volume, guys, down the road. As y'all know, I'm on an off week personally because we're running that beta. I was up all night last night, about to hit it again tonight. So hopefully you guys are plugged in with it. We're still been in EU. EU's been in the doggone. I mean, it's starting to do its thing now, but it's been playing around all day long. It's starting to drag. So hopefully it finally makes its move and does what it does. But that's about all I have, guys, as far as the how you guys view the screen. There's a reason why we have things on the screen. There's reasons why we use them. So, well, we'll be back in full swing with me and Nicholas together after the beta is over. So I can't wait, guys. I love teaching. So.
Had a general back. Well, we'll appreciate you stepping in and piecing in with us today. But yeah, without further ado, I think we're gonna go ahead and we'll get ready to close out. Before I do, was there any questions over anything we went over today? Anybody need any settings? Thing like this. Hope I gave you guys some value today. I hope maybe something may have clicked. I spoke with Bull earlier. He was saying that he caught some nice trades this week, so that makes me proud, man. I'm glad to hear. Sometimes we just have to talk it out with each other, and it's a journey for all of us. So we're here to help as far as everybody from DKS. But was there anything else that you guys want to look at real quick? We got a couple more minutes here. What? that's it. We're gonna wrap it up. Close the curtains. I appreciate you guys for joining us tonight. We'll do this again later this week. Um, we'll see you guys later. I appreciate it. And the recording should be posted later today. But thank y'all. Y'all have a good evening.